Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold for last week, Monday through Thursday, which is January 16th through the 19th. I had sales on all 4 of the platforms that I sell on normally. Before we get started with this video, the solds, I wanted to share some information. We had a comment in, I think, one of my videos about, they've got so many listings done. They've got Plush listed, but their Plush isn't selling. Plush are long tail for the most part. There are exceptions in all categories on things that are going to be selling quickly versus things that take a while. But for the most part, Plush do take a while. I do have a lot listed. I'm almost back up to 10,000 listings right now. Probably a little over 6,000 are Plush, but I do list in other categories. So it brought up a conversation between Robert and I this morning. And we should have done this when we did the video sharing what we made last year across all the platforms that I sell on and YouTube. But we didn't. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and share this information with you guys. Robert did post it as a comment to, it was in my Facebook group. So Robert did post the same information as a comment in the Facebook group. But I wanted to share why it's important not to just be in one category on eBay. Now, this will be information just for eBay, and the percentages are based on my gross. So it did include shipping and fees were still in the amounts. There was no way to pull that information and break it down a little bit better. Let me just look at my notes here. All right, for last year on eBay only, my Plush solds were 43% of my sales. So Plush only, and that's, my Loveys and all the other Plush that I sell. So 43%. My next category down were other toys. Now this is like my smalls, character toys, little people, action figures, the educational battery operated toys, all of that stuff that's not Plush. That was 12.2% of my sales. Now, clothing, which we've only been listing in clothing 2 years, actually 1 whole year and part of a year. But we just knew that we needed another major category for us to offset the ebbs and flows of eBay. Clothing was 11.8% of our sales for last year. And then we're getting into some smaller. The kitchen items that we like to buy, the appliances that we break down, dishes, all of that type of stuff was 7.9%. Household items that could be, blankets and all of that type of stuff was 6.3%. Holiday, which is probably my second favorite category, the vintage Christmas and stuff. I don't find as much of it as I wished I did. It was 6.2% of my sales. Dolls, I kept them separate than toys because I've done some really great sales with dolls, but again, I don't find a whole lot of them. I don't do those porcelain ones and stuff like that. So dolls were only 4% of my sales. Electronics, and that included like video game consoles and cameras and all of that type of stuff, was 3.1%. Games and puzzles were 1.8%. Books is, I think, the one that I really need to do better with this next year. I think there's a lot of money to be made in, chapter books for kids, like the Goosebumps and the R.L. Steins, more curriculum, more cookbooks. I need to do better, especially when we're at estate sales. But even with the amount that the high dollar books that we did sell this year, books were still only 1.8% of our sales. Baby, which was not the Loveys, but everything else, 0.8%. Crafts were 0.7%. And then other, we just couldn't figure out what category to put them in. That was 0.3%. So I hope this helps people not to just focus on one thing. Yes, you need to take into consideration sell-through rates, all of this type of stuff, in order for you to have recurring sales. But you got to get your inventory numbers up. You got to keep listing. You got to run the sales. You got to make sure you have good keywords in your titles. Just lots of things. I do promoted listing, and I do promoted listing high. I do suggested +2% with a cap at 10%. So most of the things I sell are at 10%. And about 75% of my items sell on promoted listings. It's, you know, it's just part of the game. We've got to pay the fees to get our stuff out there. So I just thought hopefully that's interesting to you guys also. So, you know, yes, I sell a lot of plush because I have a lot listed. But we do sell a lot of other things also. All right, we'll start with Mercari. 2 sales to share with you. This is a petting zoo leopard shark plush, 17 inches. It sold for $9 on Mercari. And then this Thai pluffies. Bread and butter for the most part, but some of them do really well for me. I think I've got a couple I've got getting ready to list. So, you know, hopefully they'll be, you know, maybe something that's a little bit more than bread and butter. But this one's from 2008. It sold for an offer of $9 on Mercari. Then I have 2 Poshmark sales to share. This is Winnie the Pooh fleece shirt jacket. It sold for $17. I probably could have got more, but this one had all its tags missing. We still list this stuff. We just give measurements and hope that the person who's buying it will know the measurements of the item that they need, that they're purchasing from me. And then plush. I list a lot of plush on Poshmark also. This is a chickpea unicorn plush. I think it actually was a part of like a bundle that with a baby blanket, but this is just the plush unicorn. It sold for $21. And then on Etsy, I had 1 sale to share. This is a tan bear plush from TB Trading Company, 16-inch vintage, cute. It sold for $26.95. Now let's get into some eBay sales. If you're new to my channel, I don't offer free shipping. So when I say something sold like this item for $13.90, the buyer did pay additional for shipping. I have flat rate that I charge for first class, and then I do calculated for everything over first class. And it works for me. Everybody has to make their own decision whether they want to go down the free shipping versus buyer paid shipping. This first item is a baby Aves horse lovey. It sold for $13.90. I pick up all loveys. A lot of them are $8 to $12. And then there's some that sell for more. And then like the last week I sold one that was like $70. Corel. I thought this was going to be something, you know. I'm not saying it was a bad buy. I think I paid $2 or $3 for a stack of Corel dishes, but inside of that stack was actually a harder to find pattern. I think it was like 3 plates that I've already sold. But there is a series of Corel Crazy Daisy, but they also sometimes call it Spring Blossom glassware, that I found one and only one time. I actually picked up a bunch and I sold them individually for like 20 bucks each. But not all Crazy Daisy is created equal. These 4 plates though still sold for $16. Tie, I still pick it up. This, I don't even think this one, no ear tag. I always put in my listing, if there is no ear tag, I put it in my listing. This is a striped cat called Al E. Cat from 1995, sold for $13.90. Carter's little white lamb sheep plush from 2016, sold for best offer of $20. This is another example of a jacket that did not have any measurements or care tags inside of it. People like to cut them out. They don't like how it feels on their neck. We still listed it. Of course, I listed it much lower than I would have if it had everything it needed. But it still sold for $14 best offer. I'm sure we only paid $1 or $2 for it. Nintendo Pokemon Squirtle Plush. This is from 1998. It's the Game Freak manufacturer. Sorry. It sold for $18.55. Now, not all Pokemon plush sell for more than my bread and butter, so you have to pay attention to who the manufacturer is. Some of the more current stuff doesn't sell for as well, I don't think. Baby Gons. This is a yellow dog with a purple nose. Make sure you put those types of keywords, especially if it's something different. This one sold for $13.90. Dakin Wyland Manatee Plush by Applause also. I have a feeling this one's coming back to me. I'm waiting because the person bought this plush from me and then had sent a message that said, does it have beans or stuffing? And I went and got the plush because he had already paid and I was going to be shipping it. And I squeezed it, and right in the bottom is beans. So I said it has both beans and stuffing, and they were like, fine. When they got it, they're claiming there is no beans. So, of course, they're wanting a refund. Y'all, don't do refunds just because somebody says they're unhappy with your product. Just keep, anytime they send you a message, just keep saying, I'm sorry you're not happy with this item. Please open a return, and once received, you'll get a full refund. I've not seen it yet. I've not seen it. I haven't heard anything else from them after the first initial messages, and I've not seen a return on it yet. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. But the point is don't automatically give them a refund. Just keep stating, especially if they're saying it's got a problem, open up a return. Open up a return. I've had, I don't even know, y'all, 10, 12 returns in the last like 6 weeks or so. And probably 4 of them have been closed because they just didn't return the item. It's all part of business. You just got to go with it. It's still worth it to me to get that 10% off of my final value fees for having Top Rated Seller Plus. Care Bears Grumpy Bear Plush from 2020. They are now being manufactured by Basic Fun. This one sold for $12.04. Snoopy Vintage Plush. The tag said 1968. Butterfly Originals was on the tag also. I had noticed several others had that in their title. It had condition issues. Just be honest. I put in here seems dingy, but leaving all cleaning to buyer. The eyes and nose and eyebrows there are all felt. If I had tried to wash that in the washing machine, they would have all came off. So I just leave all cleaning to buyer. It sold still for $18.55. This is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Sue. She is a Poo collector, and so she picked out 2 of my Poos, paid $30.83 for them. I do usually issue refunds if they've not waited for me to combine shipping. It's just what I do. Baby Starters, Monkey Lovey, love the Loveys, $13.90. Crock Pots. I'm positive when I bought this, it had the little gold bread pan insert in it. I only paid a couple dollars, like $3 maybe for the whole thing. I've already sold the bread pan. That thing sells very quickly for me. But I went ahead and listed this. It's a rival crock pot stoneware cooker. Put the model in there. The glass lid, I just showed pictures and said that, it's a little rough around the edges. $27.85. Dakin, Lou Rankin, Polar Bear Plush. His name is Fairbanks Jr. I love this brand because it's just got a lot of character. Look at his face. Just cute character to him. Sold for $10.18. I went to a yard sale and picked up like a whole pile of like vintage Easter decorations and just lotted it out in different lots. These 2 sun catchers sold for $9.25. Dakin Dream Pets. I have found several of them here recently at the bins and estate sales. I pick them up. Most of them are probably bread and butter, 8 to 12. There are some exceptions to that, but this one wasn't even listed a month and sold for $9.25. Thai Attic Treasures. I tend to try to put these in small lots. These just happen to be 2 little cute rabbits with an outfit on. $12.04. No, Gund Snuffles. I love finding them. I think I just sold like a gray one recently for quite a bit of money. These were the small 7-inch long plush from the 1980s. I washed them, I think, a couple of times, and they just still seemed very dingy. I just stated that in my listing. It did probably take 6 months or longer around there to sell, but the person just loved them, left me glowing feedback. $16 for the 2 of them. Garanimals. This is one of the ones that I like to find. There's like a blue dog and a pink rabbit, I believe, also in this series. And I think there's a different lamb. My lamb had the like cream colored face. This one sold for $24. Burger King. This came from my high bid online estate sale that I won a while ago. I'm still selling stuff. It's the gift that keeps on giving. That was an amazing sale. Amazing. But these were the Burger King Silly Slammers. None of them worked. They no longer made the sounds. I just went ahead and lotted them up. Took probably a year to sell, but they sold for $12.04. I think this time period I sold 2 more sets of these. I did ship the last one yesterday. I had 8 sets of these. They're HO scale Bachmann Tracks. We went to an estate sale a couple of weeks ago and bought, I want to say 3 boxes full of just train items, but not trains themselves, just a lot of accessories. Most of these sold between like $10.50 and $12 for 3 of them. This set sold for $11.44. Pieces and parts, Christmas kitchen appliances. This was a loaf pan and paddle set from a well-built bread machine. We actually bought the bread machine for like $5, and it had an extra pan and paddle with it. So this was one of the sets that sold. If you can see in my description, the paddle had issues. It had lots of wear where more than likely what happens is it falls down into a garbage disposal and then gets, in that loud noise. Can you tell I've spoke from experience? It just kind of had that kind of damage to it, but it worked perfectly fine. It fit on the little tab and would have worked fine. Still sold for $19.39. Fisher Price Loving Family Dollhouse. I tend to put the rooms together in small lots. This was a kitchen set. It sold for $22.04. And then these, I think, were just extras. It was the yellow table with a red chair and a refrigerator, $11.44. Look how most people might have walked right by this plush. It just does not scream cute. Sorry. 1979 Dandy Imports. Just a cute little rabbit. It is You're the Rabbit. I've been selling a ton. This one sold for $9.25. the Tennessee license plates. We picked up a bunch at the Highway 127 sale. I think I listed like a dozen of them. I've still got a whole tote full of them. This person bought 2 of them from Roane County, paid $14 for the lot. Oklahoma Joe's leather apron. It appeared unused, but the box did have issues. I still do not list them new. I listed it as used. There weren't very many listed, and there was a really good sell-through rate on them. I think Robert paid $2 or $3 for it at an estate sale, and it sold for $27.85. This. I bought this at a yard sale when I bought a whole bunch of vintage toys. It was, the mother had passed, and they were selling off her doll collection and her vintage toys, but they also had some of their own stuff out there. I bought a bunch there that day, and as I was leaving, I saw this wooden chess set, and I want to say I paid $10 for it because the comps were really good. But when I got home, obviously it had been in a house with smokers, and the smell was just very strong. I let it sit for a while. It's wood. There was no way for me to get it out, so I just listed it, stating, you know, it's been in a smoking environment. It took a while, and finally I got an offer of $18 on it, so I just went ahead and make it gone, right? Fisher Price again, Loving Family. I have not had this teen boy figure. It was from 2014. Couldn't find much information on him, so I just kind of picked $15 to list him at, and he sold for $13.21. Benjamin Moore Paints coffee cup. Just was really cute, nice little color block, patterns on it with a little wicker basket. I want to say I paid like $1 or $2, maybe $3 at a yard sale or an estate sale. Sold for $21, best offer. Torrid. It's a brand, I like picking up Torrid and Chico and some of these other brands. This was a long sleeve blouse with like little daisies on it. It sold for $18.27. Dandy Sock Monkey, just an example of a lot of them that I put together. Somebody sent me a $20 offer saying they were going to have it for use it in a charity auction. I just went ahead and let it go. $20 is great for 5 little small plush. Now this, thank goodness for Google Lens, because it told me that this SpiderMan was actually a little bit better than I was expecting. It's from Disney Toy Box, 5-inch figure, sold for $18.55. So make sure you use Google Lens, because you know I might have just listed it as a SpiderMan figure, not knowing it was Disney Toy Box. This is a Aurora gray donkey plush. I sell tons of these 6-inch plush. They're just the perfect size for small children. I almost made a mistake on this. I actually have 2 of them listed, and they were in the same basket. And when I brought it over here, I just happened to look at the description, and this one of the arms, they're supposed to be tucked to the body and, you know, with a string, and one of them was loose, so I had to go back and get the other one. Still sold $9.25. Vintage Christmas fruit. I picked up quite a few boxes of Christmas ornaments. I don't know. I think I want to steer away from these box lots like this. They're just harder. They're bigger. They're harder to store. They take up more room, and they tend to not sell very quickly for me. These were like apples, pears, and pomegranates. I got a best offer of $30, so I just went ahead and accepted it to get it out the door. Sequence, States and Capital board games. I went to an estate sale yesterday they had a closet full of games. And I tend to do really well with them. I just haven't been finding a whole lot. And I thought, well, this would be good. It took us an hour and a half after it opened to get in. There was just hundreds of people ahead of us. And by the time I got in there, the closet was pretty much wiped clean. I found a lot of good stuff. But one of the things that I had hoped to do was to get some of the games that were in the closet, because you can do really well with them, even parting them out. If you're missing pieces, definitely go in and check to make sure that, you know, somebody that in the sold comps that people are actually selling pieces and parts, because people are always losing stuff. But this game was complete, sold for $30. Melamine, I guess that's how you say it. Melamine Melmac. This was a Laguna brand set. It was just a coffee creamer and then cups and saucers. I bought a huge box of them, and there was some blue pieces in there also, which I went ahead and listed separately. $37.15 for this set. And because it's plastic, you know, we were able to pack it easily into, you know, a large priority box. Kohls Cares, that's going to be my next brand, but look, this is one of the ones you need to be looking for. This is from the book Click Clack Moo. I think there's a cow also that does really well. It's going to be in my video, I'm pretty sure. But if you find this lamb, he's got the black feet. $40 best offer for a Kohls Cares plush. So definitely be watching for this one. And then this is a Thai rabbit. Don't poo-poo all Thai. This one was from 1989. Did not have the ear tag. Did have some discoloration and other issues. It took probably a couple of months to sell, but it ended up selling at my sale price of $46.45. But my best sell of the weekend or the week was this Windmere Christmas Puzzle Maker. Definitely check comps on all puzzle makers. I haven't found one that didn't have really good comps. This one took probably a year or so to sell, but it sold, and it actually got shipped all the way to Hawaii. $60 for a puzzle maker. But Windmere is one of the ones that I tend to keep an eye out for quite often. We find these more often at yard sales and some of the thrift stores when we go in there. But I'm pretty sure we paid probably $3 or $4 for it. All right, I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful and all of that stuff. I am feeling so much better. I don't know if just standing outside yesterday just kind of gave me more energy and kind of cleared out everything, because this morning I woke up feeling much better. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'm past this. You know, I've just still got just a teeny bit of like tickle in my throat, but that's it. All right, now it's time to get to work, right? Bye.